Hello, everybody. Fearmy Games here, back once again for some Rome Total War 2 Cimmeria campaign. Some of you guys may recognize, well, not recognize, notice that there's a difference. I am on my new computer. The webcam, this is the way the new computer is set up, couldn't reach because the USB cable's a bit short. Couldn't reach where I used to keep it. So now it's kind of in the middle, which hopefully you guys don't mind getting my full front. You don't just get my good side, you get like all of it. But yes, I got that set up here. Monitor all set up. Trying out. Hopefully this is the version you guys. This is actually my third attempt. I'm trying out CPU recording this time. So I did hardware first, which is my graphics card. Um, but I had an issue with like near the end of the video. I was like, oh, we're getting to this spot. We might be able to end it. I entered a loading screen and everything just went to shit. Part of that I think is due to how like poorly optimized Rome 2 is. Because you practice like a single core and it just for some reason just couldn't work. Then my second attempt, I used CPU instead of hardware, but I used a different encoder than I've used before. That one, like, it was running, but it was like, but the entire thing was like, Ward, you're overloading your encoder. I'm like, fine. And then so now I changed it to a different encoder, one I'm a bit more familiar with, and we'll see if we can pull it off. My utilization of my CPU is going pretty good. FPS does dip like 20 FPS using CPU, I've noticed. But I bought this CPU, 16 core CPU, specifically so I can use it for encoding, so hopefully it works out nicely. For this video, I'm actually using my Windows 11 partition that I made for school, because for some reason on CatchUS, which is so far my favorite Linux distribution, it weirdly, for some reason, OBS, I have to figure out what the glitch is, but I can't press the hotkey from a game. I have to go to the OBS window, click start recording, then quickly switch back to the video. And I'm like, that's going to drive me insane, especially because not all games work very well after they've been minimized, I've found. Some games are worse than others. So I'm recording this video on Windows 11. Hopefully it works out nicely. But I think everything looks nice. We're on extreme quality, so it is putting a bit of a strain on my FPS. I'm hoping it looks smooth for the recording, but my actual FPS is like, if I'm like zoomed out here, is like 60. But if I zoom in like this, you'll admire the beautiful, extreme graphics. It actually that was that was a horrible example. So that's actually at 60 FPS right there. But if I'm like somewhere over here where there's like movement and like things like this, I dropped like 45, 50. So yeah. um, but anyways, the topic that's not the new computer. You guys may remember last time we took Larissa. We split off our three armies here. One army, which is now diseased, to go to Pollaiana, to drive the Romans out over here and back towards Italia. The boot. Another army, which I'm giving like a turn or two to rest and recover, will go south to Sparta and free the Spartans from Roman control. And then we have this army currently besieging Athens. However, I would like to give at least 1 to 2 turns. Speak that way I can build up some siege equipment. And take Athens, though I did learn because I was testing. I was wanting to do some benchmarking for myself between Windows 11 and Linux, and because I was deciding what I'm going to record on, if it's worth, if I want to try and use this partition for recording as well as everything else I was doing as schoolwork and recording, or if it's going to be just schoolwork. And I was like, and I didn't realize what happened. It was like I was like alt tabbing, messing with settings, trying to get everything fine tuned and party for you guys. And I came back to Rome 2 and I was like, you won. Keep in mind, all I did in this battle is I started the battle, hardly moved my arms. I grabbed like a horseman and ran it, followed it just to see how my FPS would be and how well smooth it would look. Um, that's all I did. I didn't attack, didn't move any of my other troops. So I did it. I looked over it again just to see what happened, and then I noticed is that this guy over here, this is a hoplite unit on this ship. I think it's actually a Navy ship the Marines are hoplites. What happens is that they land in the city. They move to the capture point, but the AI is so scared of my army, they only send one unit of cavalry to take on this hoplite unit. The cavalry loses. They capture the capture point. Because my army is just sitting outside the walls, they don't move to stop him, send any more units, and then I just win. I'm like, when I actually record the conquest, I'm going to properly fight it out because it's, I think, a lot more interesting for you guys that way. But I'm like, well, it's very interesting about how dumb the AI is. But it was a revelation, to put it politely. I had her update, so she gives me +6 loyalty to the political party ruling this region. You know, I think this is my capital, isn't it? I think we're not far from it, if nothing else. I wonder, did I get food? So I wouldn't mind food. So I'm just trying. I just was like, oh, I didn't realize this, that I could do this, and now I'm thinking about what can be done. What can be done? I'm going to build up an aqueduct here just so that way I can do some shenanigans. One thing I'm thinking about doing, though, because I didn't think about this, is taking Cleopatra. What happens if I undeploy you? Okay, doesn't know my public orders. I think I'm going to migrate her up north. Because if you guys remember, this area here where we started is under the control of a separate political party that's not us. So I would love to try and reduce their influence as much as I can. What I just did was I secured their loyalties, because their loyalty is getting low after my most recent purge. Because they don't understand. They don't understand. I want them all dead. It is, but yeah, gotta see how that ends up panning out. We'll kind of do the insurance sequence here. Yeah, the game looks pretty good, even with how poorly optimized it is. I'm most likely for future recordings, I'm going to drop it from extreme just down to ultra, just so I can get a steady, you know, above 60 FPS while recording. So for the most part, I'm like 60, 70, but sometimes I drop down to like, right there is 5 FPS. Don't know why. Well, I guess because the loading screen and all that shenanigans. But I would like it to be reliably higher. Well, hello there. Yes, we shall fight. Victory shall be ours. This was previous. I fought this battle already, so, but you know. Spoiler, I win it. We'll see if I can pull it off again, because this army is arguably the weakest of my armies. It is all levy hoplites. Well, not all levy hoplites, but it's like 3 out of the 4 hoplites are levies, which means they're the weakest kind of hoplites you can imagine. And then, you know, I have a lot of, like, levy spearmen, yeah, Dacian levies. So it's kind of like, ooh, can we hold out? And I'm like, you better. Because of the odd number of troops, it's a bit lopsided. My OCD will kill me one of these days, but not today. Thankfully, in battle with these settings, I am actually at a reliable 100 FPS. 110 variably. So that is a nice thing about this. It's just a world map that hates my guts. I wonder if it's because of that HD texture mod I have. If it's like, oh, how could you do this to me? So we have to keep an eye out. The enemy does have reinforcements, so we don't know which direction they're coming from. So we want to make sure we're ready to kind of fall back from wherever they might be coming from. I don't see them. Oh, never mind. There they are. So they're coming from our right flank. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of back up slightly and angle ourselves a bit better. We'll fast forward a bit to kind of help this go faster. Run, you little chickens, run! Yes, move, move. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. You know, I'm amazed that we're perfectly keeping track of them. I thought I was going to be outpacing them, and oh god. Oh good. Oof, that looks like my hoplites will make it back into position. I was like, oh no. Are my hoplites all gonna get themselves dive to a recharge because I was too busy, like, following along random units and stuff? Thankfully that didn't happen. I'm hoping it's not picking up, but my CPU is actually making a bit of noise right now. Because I'm like putting it through its paces, but yeah, that's kind of what I got it for. So as long as it works out nicely, I've actually got a surprisingly great angle on this one, and my archers are focusing the enemy cav, which is exactly what they should be doing. Because we have only one unit of cav in this entire army. I'll put these guys in guard mode. So the less cav the enemy has, the bigger our, like, you know, the more equalized this battlefield is. So we got Illyrian Royal Cavalry. I don't think I love our room. Do you even know how poorly optimized it is? It looks fucking pretty. You just don't look at their face. Look at their pretty armor, weapons, their shields. You know, a lot of this is the DEI mod. I just love it. Look at those different design types on them. Look at those abs, like this is 300. Looks like we got some mercenary raiders. Looks like the enemies are also advancing. So I should probably pay better attention to what's happening. The enemy's weirdly moving. I think what they're doing right now is they're trying to, like, angle to, like, the weakest point of my line, I'm assuming is what's happening. But all it means is I get more free pot shots at the enemy. You guys aren't the same. Oh, because you guys aren't the same unit. I say Scythian armored and Scythian foot archers. I was really confused for a second there. These guys have a small shield, so I say we focus them down with our archers there. Not the big guys with the giant shields. Can you reach these guys from where you are? Yes, you can. Perfect. That because your shield block chance helps with the blocking archers, but these guys have a lot smaller shields than these guys do. So hopefully that will work out nicely for us. But they are closing in, so we're going to change up targets. No, you're fine where you are for now. The enemy's engaged. Once it looks like they're not going to directly engage our right flank here, so we're going to start moving our units out to try and get like the beginnings of an encirclement and make you move our cav out around the flanks too. I think it is kind of fun is that this battle is actually a little bit different than how it played out originally. Yeah, it looks like I did a good job focusing these guys down because these guys are dead right as they charge, and they just instantly broke. These guys should be probably pretty much in the same boat. Actually, these guys are different than the ones I was focusing anyways. Focus that guy. Yep, and that's the entire archer. Oh, my archer's about to run out of ammunition. What I'm going to try to do is I am going to try and see if I can flank with my Dacians. My Dacians, you know, those guys, the armor piercing damage, they will fuck you up. I'm going to try and send this archer unit over here to charge that guy. I just have to make sure they don't accidentally get themselves embroiled in a melee they're not supposed to be in. Perfect. Yeah, I'm gonna get a charge off on these guys. Blanket on these guys. Oh my god, my hoplite is broken. I was not expecting that at all. That is scary. Okay, we need to deal with that ASAP. Needless to say, that did not happen last time. Last time, those hoplites actually, I think, for the most part, held down to the very end. So seeing that happen was a bit crazy. We are getting some good rear charges now on this flank, so I think we should recover. But damn, I was not expecting that at all. The Falchmen, while not very strong by themselves, they are anti-armor, so well, the ones that can get on like kind of like the flanks of the hoplites are really doing a good job. And thankfully, our giant massive archers were able to kind of hold off the enemy long enough for me to kind of slowly whittle away at the enemy. This offense is not looking so good. Hopefully the enemy does not have a backup after this to mess with me, because I would not be prepared for that. Keep chasing these guys. We need to make sure they don't have the strength to come back and screw us over, because we don't have much in the way of strength left over. I'm actually going to pull you out, the Dacian levies. Get them kind of out of that big crazy melee, if I can. It looks like we are winning the morale battle. This unit of archers has gotten pretty beat up, but it's still holding on strong. What unit is that? Let's keep killing those guys. We don't want them coming back. If we can get like you guys there, you guys like right there. Use the fact, yeah, army loss got them. Perfect. Just what we like to see, cowardice from our enemies so we can have an easier life of victory. I'm still going to clean up house as much as I can, because we definitely do not want these guys making a quick return. Yeah, the moment of truth is going to come up right after this battle, because right after this battle is where the last video decided it was like, well, not the last one, the first one was like, I'm just gonna kill myself right now, and then that's what happened. Oh, excuse me. Come on, charge! Get in their backs, weaken them, they're just phalanxes. They're not strong from the back. No, I said get them! Just because your feet are tired, because you're poor peasant archers, just get them. You're called foot archers for a reason. Hopefully not because you have a foot fetish, but that'd be a bit off. I will quit the battle. I almost pressed exit to desktop, which would be super awkward. In this version of the battle compared to last time, the Dacians didn't get as much value. The first time, the Dacians got 534 kills. They were beasts on just one of them. By the way, just one of them. They still did a respectable job, though. Our poor hoplites, though, did not fare very well this time around, but our archers came in clutch, especially this one right here. 244 kills, barely lost any of them. You know, this guy was still here, 155 kills, but lost half of its troop. This is probably like in the center of the line, holding it for us. Of course, our swordsmen did nice, reliable damage. They traded blow for blow, killing a lot more than they lost. We will kill these filthy barbarians. I am defending this land from your filthy incursion. Because I don't want Rhodes taking Athens. I think we're going to attack Athens this turn. So I don't know if that navy is a transport army. But I don't want them to think it's okay to take Athens. So I want to liberate Athens as the center of Greek learning. Ooh. I don't understand the upkeep cost increase with strategic colonies. Sounds intriguing. Well, I can get reduced banditry if I get that. That might not be a bad thing to do. Let's get ammunition stores to reduce banditry. Because banditry is a pain in the butt. Alright, let's migrate our troops. They're healthy enough now, I think, to take Sparta. I'm not expecting more than a garrison over here in Sparta. So, I think I'm missing a hoplite. So, I'm going to take a hoplite unit and hire them. And then mosey on over here to Sparta. Oh, hello. There's actually Crete as an army over here raiding. I kind of want to auto-resolve this, but I do need this army to be healthy enough to keep advancing. So we're going to fight this battle out. You know, we're going to show up the Sparta. The Sparta. We might as well fight this battle out. Even though I don't think it's going to be a very hard battle. We'll save the Siege of Athens for next time. Even though we know it's not super important. Okay. I don't think there's any reinforcements here, so it should just be straight up battle. My brain was just thinking, oh wow, these... Oh, so this is the new faction. This is like the Levy faction I got from Thessalonian. They look pretty cool on the picture. But when you look at them, they kind of just look like normal Levy hoplites, and you're like, you're not as cool as I pictured. But you're not horrible. You know, you got your own flair. You're not just Levy hoplites. You're specific regions levies. And then this is the mercenary hoplite. Oh, they were actually where they're supposed to be. Oops. And these are the mercenaries. We go up a tier. These are still considered light hoplites. No, these are medium. So we have light phalanx. Medium is these guys, and then my guys over here are heavy. There's not a big front line here. Dacians and Odysseans are gonna kind of have to be our main front line guys, which means I'm gonna kind of do a checkerboard formation again with these guys, which I think is what I did last time you saw them too, in order to kind of squeeze in and make as use of the fact that my front line is short, and hope for the best. Oh, we have one more we didn't include. Let's box you up, I guess, and squeeze you over here. You're the general, let's say. So you two are a pair. You two are also a pair. I think my dog just farted. Off topic, but I was just sniffing and I was like, she didn't poo. really means only one thing. I'm fine with where we are here. I'm going to keep these guys in this formation. I'm going to lock it up while we migrate over there. I'm assuming the enemy is not going to move a crazy amount, so it's going to be mostly up to us to kind of get over there. I'm going to walk them so they don't get super tired, but I'm going to speed it up so at the very least it looks like they're running, and you guys aren't just sitting here being like, what are you doing, buddy? Looks like they're doing the smart thing, and they're trying to take this high ground advantage. Downside for them is I do have the range advantage. So I might be able to just pepper them from afar. We'll see. If I accidentally get my army too close, it won't matter too much, but we'll find out. I'm going to make use of the fact that they are trying to just make use of that high ground, which, good on them, to get into a more advantageous position for myself. Could I, like, angle that, like, slightly different? Like, make it feel like I'm properly facing off against them? There we go. Once our hoplites get into position, we will advance forward to get them in range of our archers. Because we're doing 2 lines deep, you know, they won't all reach the, range at the same time. But, you know, close to, oh my gosh, the enemy is actually advancing. Coming down from their hill down to where us peasants are down below. The ones that are going to be the most punished if by trading missiles is going to be my Archer-Odrysians, because they have very tiny shields. But thankfully, their archers aren't as good as ours, and ours are just like, how about you die? And they're like, okay. So we did lose a few Odrysians to the volleys, but our own archers were like, how about no? I love archers. You guys are beautiful. Reason why I spammed a bunch of you guys. These guys, though, have some javelins, so it's going to be a bit of an ouch for me, dog. Thankfully, though, they're using all their missiles on not my elephants. So that's a good thing. So they do have horsemen over here. So once this line starts advancing, I'm actually going to charge these guys over here. And then charge these guys to those horsemen. Oh, perfect. Yes. Get them. Get them. Oh, look at these guys are just local citizens. These aren't even proper army over here. This is gonna be glorious. They charged up they moved up the heavy swords to tackle my elephants. My elephants are like, hi. You know, there's a reason why we're useful here. They just sent a bunch of them flying. They didn't really kill a whole lot with their initial charge, but they didn't have to. They just had to fuck them up enough. Now, unfortunately, our Dristians, being the weakest unit in the army, they ended up dying there, but it's not the end of the world. Now, this unit, it looks like it's even about to just break right now. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I am happy. So yeah, we did lose 2 guys to our own archers, but otherwise we did good. Yeah, Dristians got screwed over by the fact that they were the focus for the enemy projectiles, but fortunately, it's just a fact of life. I don't know if the enemy unit's enough damage enough to be dispersed, but if it is, oh well. Our Cav did a pretty good job of clearing out the enemies. Falksman, great job too. But the true heroes in this battle were definitely the archers, doing nice, reliable numbers. But you know, this one, I think this one, had charged into the local citizenry, so they got a lot of inflated kills based off of that. I think. So we're gonna take this. Well, we're gonna liberate this. Hi, Sparta. But this is not like the major faction Sparta. This is like its own like liberated Sparta because that's different symbol than the major faction one. But fact is, Sparta's been liberated. I feel like a winner. It's all that matters. Now let's get more missile ammunition because we do love our archers, so we want to make sure they're as useful as possible. Next episode is actually when I'll do this Athens battle. It does look like the Roman army that was here has fled, but there is a 20 stack over here we'll need to keep an eye out for. We'll besiege Apollonia. I'm going to save this one for another episode. And this one we are actually taking, so that way we can complete the region of Larissa. We're going to do some actual upgrading of some of these buildings. Let's see, for you, I would love to reduce the amount of public order penalty these guys have. As best I can. Was there an enemy army here, or am I crazy? I think I must be crazy. Thought I saw an enemy army here over the entrance sequence. Unless they're waiting to ambush me, which would be awkward, but... what can you do? And now this 20 stack here is ready. We're going to have it advance northward so we can start slapping the barbarians to the north around a little bit. Might be worth just creating a new army while we're waiting for Ares Dread, wherever they are, to make their way over. So we can build them into a proper army. Yeah, they won't. There's not really a way to build them up over there. Just really fast looking through some of my settlements, see what can be upgraded, what shouldn't be upgraded. Technically, I mean, I've been trying to avoid upgrading the cities themselves because that's just more of a drain on food. But at this point, I'm negative 64. What's the worst that could happen? I mean, I guess technically it could, you know, other things could happen, but you know what I mean. Though there's some things where I'm still not going to change. And for this one, I don't know why they hate me so much. But could I like affect how much taxes you're getting? Like, what if I like lower your taxes? Oh, that was the entire country apparently. I didn't mean to do that. I was trying to just do this region. What benefit would it be if I like? Looks like you can't do taxation of a particular region. Oh, I can just not tax it flat out. Which does reduce my food problem. You know, maybe if I just don't tax a few areas. And I just say, oh my god, you have to be taxed. Oh my god, that was like 10,000 gold right there. I'm sorry, you guys are just too wealthy to not tax. Oh my god. Sorry, I was trying to be benevolent, but also, I need that moolah. But, you know, some of these areas that don't actually generate much wealth. Wait, taxing this place actually gives me more money. Okay, so that's interesting. Okay, so not taxing certain places has different benefits than others. Okay, you need to be taxed because apparently untaxed may cost me so much money. Do I have you taxed? I'm assuming I don't. $1,000 gold is worthwhile. Oh my god, not taxing this one saved me 12 food. Yeah, I'm definitely not taxing that place. I did not think about this before, apparently. This is like a Yo, get yourself out of food problems. Yo, oh my god, look, I have positive food. It's been so long. I feel accomplished. I can start upgrading buildings again. And that I hardly touched my tax base. Apparently, like though this region right here, apparently makes me a shit ton of money. I was not expecting so much money coming from there. What happens if I don't tax Mesopotamia? What happens? Oh my god, I go from 21,000 to 3,500 and actually lose food. Okay, you guys are just have to be taxed. I'm sorry, Mr. Tammy. You apparently are just worth too much money. Okay, honestly, this is its own mini game. So this one, I could gain 7 food, but I lose 7,000, like 4,000 monies. What about over here? Our capital area. This one is another negative to untax. This one's actually a net benefit to not tax because it apparently does not give me any money, but untaxing it actually gives me like 10 food. This is a benefit I should have figured out like 70 episodes ago. This one's also another net benefit. Helps with public order a little bit. Gives me like 5 food and doesn't actually affect my income. What about you guys? Oh, I just did that to you guys. Okay. Yeah, so we figured the way. What happens about if I don't tax you? But you guys are a benefit to actually tax. Okay. But that's crazy. I went from negative 64 food to positive 22 food. I feel like I only lost like a couple thousand, like income per turn. That's definitely worthwhile. Let's make a new army. Make sure it's part of our dynasty, which I think is Spartasoid. Do you guys have a good thinking cap? Let's do the gods of war. I'm trying to do right now is I want to create a new army so I can then, because they might get there by the time Irish Dread gets there. Let's be honest here. Take Salamis, and then once we've done that, apparently I've taken the eugenics population so much that there's not enough for 4 hoplites. I guess because I take a lot from my cav. I can get 1 unit of elephants. Let's see. I can get some Scythian archers. Apparently, I was running low on some Xenoi too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I want 2 more phalanx. That leaves me still with 3 units to play with. I do have my 6 archers I usually like. I have my 2 secondary spearmen. I guess I want some flankers that aren't capped, because I do like infantry flankers too. And it looks like the best option for that is going to be my Thracians, I think, are better. Yeah, they're better than my Scythian medium axemen. Or I could get some, like, stone throwers just so I can get, like, some siege equipment just to really screw with people. Oh, I do need a baggage train. So still 2 spots for hoplites. 2 spots for... And I'll get some Thracians. We have just saved our country from eternal starvation. And I feel like a king. So what we're going to do is, next episode, we are going to take Athens. We're going to take Apollonia, and we shall have liberated Greece. Apparently, this was an army, so I'm glad I chose to attack. Those things look so cool. You guys can't see it. You guys can't see it, but they look cool. The roads, guys. My camera's blocking them. But they look cool. I'll figure out a way to show it to you guys next time. But I should probably call it here, guys. It's getting pretty late. I hope you guys have a good day, night, evening, wherever you guys may be. And I'll see you next time.